Boom! What's up, everyone? Steve Larsen from Sales Funnel Radio, and today I'm going to teach you guys how gurus write their books. I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today, and now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio. What's up? Hey, I'm excited about this topic, okay? I did a Facebook Live recently, and I went through and I started showing you, if you guys had a chance to see it, how gurus write their books, okay? Now, right off the bat, I want to acknowledge the fact that, yes, I understand that people write books in like a week or whatever, okay? I'm not talking about that, okay? And this is not to offend anybody, but when somebody says, oh my gosh, why did it take so long to write a book, Stephen? Why does Russell take so long, right? Why do all these people why do they take so long? And the reason is because we want them to be really, really good, right? That's the only answer, okay? We want them to be super, super epic, super fantastic. And so what I wanted to do is shortly after I got to ClickFunnels, Russell started drafting the Expert Secrets book, okay? And if you've never had a chance to read that book, go to expertsecrets.com, pay for the shipping, and just get the book. That book changed my life. Okay, awesome stuff. Okay, so he started drafting that book, and I'm like right there, right? I'm like right next to him, and he'd be drafting stuff. And at the beginning, you know, I'd just be like typing, like, holy crap, history is in the making right now, like literally 3 feet from me, that far away from me, you know, and I was like, this is super cool. And as time went on, though, we started going back and forth on different concepts, and I had a lot of fun being involved in the creation of some of the ideas. You know, it's obviously his book, he wrote it, it's all his. I'm not going to say, oh, I did that, not true at all, okay? But I had a very amazing opportunity to be a part of a lot of things that were created for that book, and see the process, not just the content, the process that he was going through to make sure that what he was teaching about was prolific, was amazing, right? Was incredible, was received well, right? The book, one of my favorite quotes is the essence. The quote is, the destruction of information is the essence of intelligent work, or something like that. Basically, you should not seek complexity, okay? You should not seek complexity. Complexity to make you sound smart does nothing for the person who's hearing the content, right? Which is why at OfferMind, right, I didn't go huge into tons of stuff. I didn't go in the nerd zone, right? I had tested material like crazy to see how you received it. And then watching you and your reaction to what I'm saying, I can go back and I can adjust. Go back and adjust. I'm holding something in my arm here. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, but what I want you to understand is, like, a lot of gurus that are out there who truly understand this game. I'm not saying, I gotta be careful the way I say this, but whatever. Let me just be honest about this, okay? I get so nervous when someone's like, hey, I wrote my book in a week. I'm like, is it any good? Have you tested it? Is the material in there fantastic, right? A book will either make or break you, right? And I don't want to write something that's like not good, not amazing, right? I want to write a book that's incredible, like groundbreaking book, right? And a lot of you guys have been asking me, like, when are you going to have a book? When are you going to teach this concept, whatever? Well, what I've been doing, and a lot of you guys don't know, is I've been teaching a lot of this stuff for the past, I don't know, like 8 months, 9 months, like with the intent to figure out if it's good material for a book, right? I've been teaching this stuff, though, for years, right? And so anyway, I've been teaching it, I've been testing them and seeing how you guys react to it. And then I've been going in and I will coach people on those principles. Sweet, okay, that was received well. Oh my gosh, that one thing right there worked really, really well. Oh my gosh, that plus that, boom, that made the money happen. That plus that, boom, that made the money happen. That plus that, in that scenario, that doesn't work very well. You know what I mean? And so what's cool is I've been able to go in and test like crazy. I am not trying to write a book for the sake of writing a book. I'm trying to write a book that's like incredible. You know what I mean? It's not about speed for me in this area. It's not, especially with books. Books are very final, okay? In a members area, in a course, I can go in like 3 seconds, right? I can go in and just switch out the URL. Bam, new video. But with a book, it's there, right? It's printed, it stays, it's shipped, right? And so I can't, it's hard, it's more permanent. So I am far, far, far more. So I just want to, in this episode, we're going to cut over to the Facebook Live. And what I want you to see is the process that I had a chance to watch Russell go through when he wrote the book Expert Secrets. Same process he went through when he wrote .com Secrets. Same process he went through when he's writing Traffic Secrets. Same process that I have been using to write my book, okay? And that was one of the real purposes of the event OfferMind, right? Was that. So what we do is I've been coaching it, I've been using some material, I've been testing it, but then I go through and I write. This is I think 4 or 5 legal pads worth of paper. Okay, it's a lot. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. It's a lot of paper. It's very, very thick. And what we do, I draw one major diagram that represents all of it. And then I take little pieces out and say, okay, let's teach that and then that and then that. Sequentially, how should I digest this to understand it the best? Okay, and that's what I do. And so that's what I've done. Okay, now those are the principles, right? The major core things. Now I need to go through and figure out the actual principles that teach that topic. Now I need to think through the story that teaches that principle the best. So you end up coming up, I come up with probably, I don't know, probably like 50 stories. I mean, literally, it's a lot of stories because I can't just say, here's the thing, right? I need to embed it. I need to embed it in the brain. And the way to do that is through storytelling. So we're going to cut over to this Facebook Live. And the Facebook Live is me diving through. You're going to see these strewn out all across my office floor right here, all over the floor. And you'll see more of the process. Why we throw the event. Why we don't throw it first. Why we don't write guys, a lot of the books that are out there that have been like amazing, they're heavily researched books. It's not like someone's just walking around. I could make a book tomorrow. It's not hard. It isn't, right? I could literally just vox something or make a voice thing, have somebody transcribe it, put it in a Word doc, print it, bind it, bam, done. You know what I mean? It's the process of writing a book is not hard. The process of coming up for the content, that is challenging, something that's actually amazing, something that's completely prolific. And so that's what's going on. So I've been working hard at writing my book. This is my contribution to the marketing world, okay? This is not like it's not a really easy thing to go through. So what I want to do is share with you, and the more and more I've looked through all these gurus who are doing this stuff, okay, they all do something very similar to this, okay? It's not about speed. Okay, in this specific area for this exact move that I'm using and doing. So you guys will see me soon. I'm gonna go create my book funnel. A lot of you guys are gonna get on and join me for free with that, which is great. You guys can watch me join and actually build the book funnel that's gonna sell it. All the upsells, you'll see me think through that, craft and create the offer, the sales message for it. Because now I have the product, the book, but then I gotta also sell that. So the book is a sales message on the new concepts and ideas, right? But then there's a sales message to sell the book, and then I'll have to make a sales message for a hook, for headlines to bring you in, right? It's a big process, especially for book funnels, So what I'm pumped about is there's not an aggressive timeline for me on this. Perfection, obsession is the goal for me on this, which is why it's taken me a while, and I'm totally cool with that. As I'm speaking right now, there are 3 books in the hopper. One of them is near done. This one about offer, so it's going to be called Your Core Offer. So you guys can go to yourcoreoffer.com, and that's where the book funnel will be. And if it's not up yet, right, which it likely isn't by the time you guys hear this, you guys can join a little waiting list, and I will drop it out to you the moment it's ready so you guys can jump on there. But you also, there's a way for you to actually watch me build the thing if you'd like to as well. So it'll give you instructions on how to do that. I like to do this with complete transparency so you guys can check that out. But anyways, so there's a lot of moving pieces with this, right? And I don't want to just rush it for the sake of a timeline. This is a big, big, big piece, big move, big credibility, right, is to have a book. But I don't want to jack it up just because I want to get it out tomorrow or next week or whatever. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's cut over real quick. Sorry for that long intro there, but I want you to know that stuff. So we're going to cut over to the Facebook Live now and see a little more behind the scenes of the actual process, and I'm going to walk you guys through that. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate it. Let's cut over there now. Bye. Real quick, so about 2 weeks ago, crap, it's Saturday. Yes, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was able to go in and hang out with Russell for the evening, late into the evening at ClickFunnels office. It's pretty much just he and I. Dave Woodward came in for a little while, and we went in though, and we were drafting. We went through and we were going back and forth on concepts for the Traffic Secrets book and the Traffic Secrets event. And this is one of my favorite things to do ever. Okay, and this is what we used to do all the time. When I first got, this is right after I got hired at ClickFunnels. That's when we started drafting like Expert Secrets. and Russell would come up with some concepts. Then he'd come like, is that cool? And they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That concept, this concept, that concept, this concept. I was very heavily involved in that process, and it was cool to watch how a genius like that writes a book. Okay, and I freak out a little bit. I get a little bit nervous whenever I see someone bragging about the fact they wrote their book in a weekend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless you got a crap ton of material, I'm nervous for you. Okay, I'm nervous for you when someone writes a book that quickly. Okay, so here is how we write it, and I'm not going to share with you guys everything. Okay, actually, that's all you're going to see right there. But this is what we do. Okay, we come right over here on the side, and we write down on one. See all the red right there? The red right there in that column. Okay, so first of all, what we do is we start up at the top right there, and we draw a framework. We draw a picture that represents the entire book or the entire presentation or the entire whatever. Okay, that's what that one is right up there. I'm not going to share it with you guys because it's a secret. Okay. No Shave November. You like that? Okay, but first we start with a framework that's right up there, and it represents every single thing that's going to be in the book. One massive framework. Okay, the next thing we do is we go in and we try and break up, as logically as possible, we try and break up the main topics, right? Like big subjects, things that we could riff on for like 3 or 4 hours. Okay, that's what all that red column is right there, right where my finger is. See that? That red column right there. Okay, so session 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right down right in there. You can see the one that's really massive right there where my finger's right there. Okay, you like the stop sign? That's for an ad. Anyway, like that's all my Dream 100 packaging, all that stuff. There's some sick stuff right there for OfferMind. Stuff's getting shipped in like crazy, so the office is totally a mess right now. Okay. But anyway, then what we go do is we draw out the major images that have to do with these, with this session. Okay, all the major images right here. Check this out. Okay, so we go right here. We got all the major images for that session. Now there's going to be a whole bunch of smaller ones, but that's the major image, right, and logical progression of idea that represents that main session. Does that make sense? So it's broken down kind of like this. Check this out. So it's broken down kind of like this. And okay, here we go. Okay, so right, we got that main framework up at the top, and we're like, woo, here's the picture or whatever. Then what we do is just say, okay, well, first of all, there's that part, and then there's this part, and then there's this piece to the framework, that piece, and we start to number them out in these big, broad categories. Okay, and we number them out, and this is like the main broad thing, right? This is like this one piece right here is just this section. But you have to know that in order to go to this one. So we put it in an order, right? It's descending in the order you have to actually understand it to actually pull off whatever the book or the course or the whatever is about, the presentation, right? This is exactly the process we went through for the Traffic Secrets event, exactly the process we went through for Expert Secrets book, exactly the same process that I'm going through for everything right here, okay? So then what we do is that if this is like session number 1, right? This is session number 2, session number 3. Okay, this is how all the experts write books, just so you know. Okay, write slowly. What I've been doing is, number 1, there's a big framework up at the top, and then you break them all out into these different sessions. So those of you guys coming to OfferMind, you're going to see me do this and the full circle of this, okay? So then what we do is we draw step number 1, actually pulling off that major piece of framework is this, and then we draw an image about that. We draw about that. We draw about that, and we come up with 4 or 5 major images up at the top. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of smaller ones as well, but that's not how we're going to describe it on stage. Does that make sense? That's not how we do it on stage. Okay, we draw it out in front of. If this is like a big whiteboard and I'm standing on stage and I'm like rah 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 because I yell a lot, right? I'm drawing it out. I'm drawing out the framework, and then I show this slide, right? The final thing. Then I go to the next one, and I'm drawing it out on a whiteboard, and I'm drawing, and suddenly, oh my gosh, let's show this next slide. Okay, and what we're doing is we're fleshing out all the content from our head possible about this one thing. Does that make sense? We're teaching, right? If this is like, okay, if this is session 1, and you have to know this, and you have to know this, and you have to know this, and these are all images. That's why we draw doodles, guys. That's why the doodles are in Expert Secrets books, the Doc Some Secrets books. That's why doodles are in Traffic Secrets. That's why doodles are in my Secrets Masterclass course, Secret Home Hacks, right? My funnel stash. It's all, if I can explain it in a doodle, it is simple enough to be re-teachable, okay? I need to be able to re-teach it, and it needs to be able to be transferable. The purpose is not for me to appear smart. The purpose is for me to be able to teach clearly these concepts to the listener, right? Does this make sense? Okay, so I draw the major framework right up here. Major framework, right? And that represents everything in the event. Then I go through and we figure out, okay, well in session 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever, however many that is, and then we draw macro level images, macro level doodles, right, across the top that represent a collection of ideas. And then in stage, all we do is we show that and we are brain dumping on that one thing specifically for the recording. We are doing it for the camera. Because here's what happens. The recording, all the doodles, all the images, everything, okay, go get sent off to a ghostwriter. Now, we do not leave it up to the ghostwriter to actually do the produced work. But what we're doing is we let the ghostwriter take the first pass at it so that when we see that image, there's all this content going in and driving in all, does that make sense? Driving in all of the points possible for just that one image. Suddenly we have a sweet chapter, right? Then we have another sweet chapter. And then we go back in and we rewrite the entire thing personally. And that's exactly what I'm doing as well. Okay. But having somebody else go through, see the images, see the things, listen to the recordings, watch when I drew that, watch when I did that, and actually write out the first initial draft is the best way to get the brain dump out of the head. Okay? Now, a lot of you guys don't know this, but for everything that I've been doing in the past, I don't know, 8 months in my podcast have been little tiny micro pieces of this. I taught a little bit of this in that episode. I taught a little bit of that in this episode, a little bit of that in that episode. And I'm spot checking. And I'm trying to see if the content's sexy enough, if it's attractive enough, if you understand it. What content in there was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, what? Does that make sense? And so I'm going in, and so for like the last 8 months, and all the things I've been teaching, and all the things that we've been learning back and forth, starts to come into this one clear picture. But now I can lace it in an order. Bam, 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 bam. And then go teach it for 3 days in front of all these people and see how you react to it. Okay? It's like, this is like, you guys heard Dean Graziosi. I think it's Dean Graziosi. He teaches this really cool concept. He's like, you know all these cool stage comedians, they get up and you're like, man, that guy's really funny. Okay, the truth is, they started like a year ago, and they write 10 jokes, and they go out to a stage, and they say their 10 jokes, 2 of them stick, the other 8 sucked. So they go erase the 8 jokes. Then they go to the next stage, right, the very next night, with the 2 original jokes, but now 8 new ones. Oh my gosh, now 3 of them were amazing, right? Then they'll go back and they'll write another 7 jokes. They'll tell the original 3 plus the new 7, right? The people are literally voting for them on whether or not the joke was funny. That's why we need to finally get to Conan. That's when they finally get to Jimmy Kimmel, right? That's why they're hitting it so hard and all their jokes are awesome, right? Fantastic lesson right there, because that's actually the same format that we use to write books. I hate it. It freaks me out when someone's like, well, it only took me 3 days to write my book. And I'm like, have you tested any of that content? Have you tested any of those materials? Have you tested any, right? That's freaky. I would never do that. That scares the crap out of me. So I've had some people reach out to me. They're like, I'll ghostwrite your thing in 3 days. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that, right? That scares the crap out of me. Instead, I've taken 8 months to go through and start being able to piece through and deep dive on little tiny pieces. Bam, 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 bam. Then I'll make that one an episode. Then this one principle that seems a little risky, that's the episode. Then that's the episode. That's the episode. Now I have one major framework. I'm not going to show you guys, sitting at the top of this thing. Okay, and what I have is down the left side, all the major sessions that I'll be teaching at OfferMind. Okay, now although those sessions are in OfferMind, I can go dive in, right? I can dive totally all in and draw out macro level things, doodles that represent complex ideas. And if I can teach that, right, and do this for 2 hours and collect all your questions and everything back and forth, it's like that's a huge deal. Now I know my book will be amazing. It's going to be called Your Core Offer. And very, very, very stoked about it. Anyway, Your Core Offer. And Your Core Offer material has been tested and tested and tested and tested. I have case studies, testimonials, personal clients, success stories. It is not something that just popped out of my head, right? It is something that I have been working on slowly, right, for months. And So anyways, that's the whole point of this. So just so you know, here's what goes on. So I go in, right, the framework's at the top, all the major key pieces are right there, macro level images across the side right there. Then what I go do is I order them and I draw them into pictures, but then I go over here on the whiteboard and see all of the sections right there. Bam, 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 bam. Those are all the sessions. and I write out all of the outputs that someone should be able to get by the time that session is over. Okay? It's not just like, well, let me just teach you cool crap. I believe in so whats. I call them so whats. Okay, I'm doing this sweet thing. So what? Who cares? Well, here's the so what. So everything in blue, those are the so whats. You should be able to have outputs in your personal business and results based on everything in that column. Okay? Everything in green, that's a story. Everything in red, that's a principle. Everything that's a blue line next to it means that there is a very awesome, strong image or doodle that's been created just for that piece. Okay? So now that's all these pieces down here on the side. Now I can go in and this is the next step. This is exactly what I do. This is what Russell does with all I'm just telling you guys because I don't think a lot of you guys know this. Okay? So what I did is I started a contest inside of Freelancer. Huge fan of Freelancer. If you guys want to see my strategy on how I use Freelancer, go to bestmarketingresources.com and it's all in there for you. Check this out. Okay. So I have a contest that's running. Okay. And I need to find a good doodler. I know who Russell's doodler is for the books. I know, but this is my own thing, right? I'm not going to go, right? Find your own people. Okay? There's funnel hacking, then there's being annoying. Okay, I don't pilfer off Russell's team. Okay, I go get my own, right? So what I need to go do now is find somebody who can do all the doodles for me. So I'll check this out right here. Watch this. So in Freelancer, what I've been doing is running a contest for the last 24 hours. It's very aggressive. I'm awarding $120 to the person who gives back. I just took one image, took a picture of it and said, redraw that with these parameters. I need it to look somewhat like this. And I've had 299 submissions. The contest just ended. And so what I'm doing now is I'm right here. I've got 299 submissions. Let me reload it and it says time to choose the winning entry, right? Time to choose the winning entry. 4 people are planning to submit. Well, they lost out. I am ruthless. Okay, I'm just helping you guys know, like, I call it redraw my stick figures into vectors. I want to be a vector. Right in the line, there's a $120 reward. I have a month to reward the person, but really I need everything back in the next day. Okay, and so I took one image, and so let me show you guys the actual. So here's the description, so you guys can model if you want to. Okay, so I said, check this out. I need several images. This is the first 2 attached. Don't worry about the words so much. I just need the image. They end up looking something like this. I took a screenshot of something from one of Russell's books. I want to be very clean, right? Then I walk through. Anyway. There's the files that are attached. Anyway, so I give them a whole bunch of stuff, and then down here in the actual clarification board, I think I have one there. Yeah, I wrote several things in here. I was like, look, I plan on sending 40 images to the winner. As soon as the contest is over, we can discuss price when I need it back. Check this out. Okay, everyone, just a reminder, make it look hand-drawn. I don't want it to look like clip art. Okay, I was ruthless to these people. Okay, and I do that every single day. 300 submissions in 24 hours? That's nuts. Okay, so I rejected like almost everything. Look at that. That person couldn't follow directions. I said only black, no color. So, right? That looks like it's clip art. You look at those lines right there. That's not, right? And so I get super detail oriented on this. I get anal about it. I get really intense because I want, if they can't do that and I'm about to drop 40 images on them, it's going to be hell for me, right? So I come in and I rejected. I mean, there's really only a few images. You get some really weird ones. I'm like, did you even read the instructions? Anyway, so then I come in, right? And this is where they ended off. And I have a little system. If it's a 4, it means I should look at it again. A 5's absolutely love it. I hardly ever give them a 5. I'm usually rejecting and giving 3. If it's a 1 or 2, I just kill them. I just get rid of it. Okay. I was like, there we go. It's starting to look like more hand-drawn things, right? So it's a whole bunch of submissions, the exact same thing because I'm vetting people out. Right now, the next step that I go do is, that's where I am right now, is I'm going to go vote on the last few ones, clean up the last few pieces, and I look for the top 3 people. And I go to my number 1, and I go to number 2, number 3, and I give them the same pitch. I liked your thing. It was awesome. How much would it be? How fast can you get it done? Here's all the images. And several times I've had a few freelancers do the exact same project just in case I'm not totally sure yet. And that way I have a lot of copies back of the right thing. So anyways, that's my process. Okay, so then now I have all the images and I can go and I put them into slides. And as I'm drawing things up on the whiteboard in front of people in the OfferMind, right, and they're asking questions and I'm hearing them. That's the important piece. I'm hearing them and making sure that what I'm drawing in front of them represents all the answers that are important to answer, or all the questions that are important to answer. And then I can pop the actual like pro looking image on the screen once I've already drawn it and walked people through it as I'm drawing it. Does that make sense? Then that screen recording, the actual event recording will go back to a ghostwriter who will go back through, and she will take all the images and what I was saying about that image and turn it into copy, right? Then she'll go back and actually write the thing. Then I'll go back and rewrite the entire thing. That, my friends, is how you do a book. And the recordings of the event will easily be an upsell in the book funnel that sells the book, okay? Along with audiobook, along with all that stuff. That's how this stuff works. Okay, that's every person I've seen actually makes a book that's actually, you know what I mean? It's not hard to write a book. You can self-publish any freaking book. Having a book can make you or break you, okay? Just having a book out there is not good enough. Like, is it a good book? I don't care if it took 2 weeks to write it. Is it good? You know what I mean? Like, so I want to write a good book. Really good book, right? This is freaking awesome, by the way. Everything, especially in those 3 columns right there, has never been taught by anyone ever. They're all my little things that I've been using to make my clients successful that no one's talked about. And I'm really, really excited about it. How do you choose your ghostwriter and where do you look for them? It's a great question, John. Same process, actually. First, I'll start with my personal network to see like who has good writers that they've liked, and I'll test them. So there's 2 ladies right now that write my blog. There's a third who's going to go help ghostwrite a second book, the first round of it, and then I'll come back through and write the second one. I'm working on 3 books right now. Okay, there's 3 of them, and they're so freaking awesome. One of them is about all the lessons I learned while sitting next to Russell. The second one is about this offer here. The third one is going to be pretty disruptive in the MLM space because I do have a back-end business there. Anyway, I'm really psyched about it. It'll be really cool. But I start with my personal network and I'll have them write like a few blog posts to see if I like their style. I'm not just looking for style, I'm looking to see if they can match my voice. That's what I'm really looking for. And so I'll start with a whole bunch of small projects, and then if it seems like it's a good one, then I'll go more deeply on it. So anyway, awesome. Super awesome stuff. Freelancer, yeah, sometimes I'll write them on Freelancer. I prefer that I find, guys, it's so much easier if you can to hire someone from your own audience. You know, because they know who you are, they get the culture, they want to do a good job. It's not just about money. They understand there's going to be probably follow-up stuff. You know what I mean? Really helps like crazy. Anyway, I just wanted to walk you through that process. Please write books slowly. I'm tired of seeing people write books in 3 weeks and then be like, well, I only had this many purchases, or no one's talking about it. It's like, because you probably didn't test any of the content, and you probably didn't go teach it in front of a whole crap load of people. It was something that just, you know what I mean? That's how I write and create stuff that's awesome. That's the other side reason for my podcast, is that I'm testing material on you guys. And so if I go look at my podcast stats, right, check this out. So if I go look at my podcast stats, sometimes the thing that I'll go do is run in here and look to see, let's log it in real fast so you guys can see it. So freaking nuts, guys. We just passed 200,000 downloads like a few weeks ago, and we're already at 213. For Sales Funnel Radio. It's crazy. So on the right column there, right, these are all the episodes that just launched. Branding comes second, 5 phases of a funnel, my latest free lead source, right? But as I go in, right, all the episodes, let me make this 50 entries here. Here we go. Right, I start to see which ones, after they've been out for like a month or 6 weeks, because I binge listen to people. I don't listen to always, you know what I mean? So when I'm like binge listening, like, wow, 1,400, that's awesome. Just for that one episode. Why dogging? Okay, sweet. What was the story I told there? I wonder if I can use that over there, right? What was this story over here, right? What were the ones see your comments back the most? I'm letting the market vote. I'm not letting them vote on the core concepts of the book. They wouldn't know how to vote on that. They don't know what those concepts are, but I am letting them vote on stories. I'm letting them vote on the way I told it, the way I taught it that time, the way you know what I mean? There's been several webinars where not many people have showed up that I've been doing JVs for ClickFunnels. And sometimes people will be like, well, you want to cancel it? I'm like, no, man, I want mat time, right? I want time on the mat. I want to just be doing the thing. Right, as often as I can make it. Does that make sense? The same thing is true with your content and the core concepts of the things that you are doing. If the book is the first time, right? The book can make or break you. If the book is the first time that you have ever taught those things, I am scared for you. Books are so permanent. Okay, they're so permanent. It's hard to unpublish a book. It's easy to unpublish an episode. It's easy to unpublish a blog. It's easy, right? Those are like low impact places to publish and test your material, right? Doing things on a webinar, doing things in front of an audience, those are great low impact places to do it. But when you write a book, there's a finality to a book for some reason, right? Those stay on my shelf. Look, right? I got that shelf, that shelf, that shelf, stacks of books on the side right there, stacks of books down on the floor. I got books all over the place, and I'm constantly going back through them. I went through and I started organizing all the books where I learned certain materials next to all the stuff. Anyway, I'm excited, guys. This is really, really cool. The process is a massive brain jog, okay? But it's amazing how many epiphanies you have just in the middle of like organizing the material. So I'm excited for you guys. If those guys who want to be how many guys out here want to be an author? If you want to be an author, like I hope that you choose to be, right? A lot of credibility comes with it. But man, like jumping to a book, in my opinion, a book is something that you earn the right to write. Okay? Something that Russell taught me. And he's like, if you think about it, like you earn the right to write a book. It's a stamp. It's a thing that it lives for a long time. And if it's not amazing, and if it's not blue ocean, if it's not prolific, right? It's like that's some scary crap. So I would not. If you guys are like, I'm trying to get my book out, like, don't try too fast. All right, I'm actually taking this real slow, and on purpose, right? This has been sitting out on the floor, stuff on the whiteboard, because I'm going back. I'm reteaching it. I'll reteach Colton. I'll reteach other people. I'll like. Did that make sense that time? Does that make sense over here this time? Does that make sense? I know how it works, but like, can you teach why it works? That's a totally different thing, right? And so that's what I'm doing. So I encourage you to write books slowly. The process, half of the reason for OfferMind is for me to teach you guys how to find your core offer and draft it, and how to go in it and actually take hold of a brand new market that's never existed before. And the process for doing so, that's not a small task, right? And luckily, I mean, I've coached thousands of people in this now. I have logged thousands and thousands and thousands of hours at doing this thing. It is my obsession. It's a Saturday. It's what I do. It's who I am. It's my work and my hobby. I love it. I don't think about anything else really, okay? I love this stuff. But understanding how to do it and knowing how to teach it effectively and simply, completely separate things. And so this is the process we run through. So if you watch a lot of Russell's stuff, you watch a lot of my stuff, you watch a lot of Dean Graciosi stuff, a lot of big people that are out there, they're using their content platform as a way to test material for future big programs. Okay, that's exactly what I've been doing, and that's why this is such a huge deal for me to run through. So hopefully that makes sense. This has been some fun stuff. John Pumphrey, man, that's cool that you launched in your podcast. But anyway, that's why this is such a huge deal. If I can effectively test all my material, if I can effectively draw it into little doodles, that's hard. Okay? So people are like, why do you use doodles? It's like, it's because of what it means. If I can make a doodle out of a complex thing, I have now simplified it enough to reteach it. Because most experts, they're way past the point of fulfillment for the audience that wants to hear it, right? Meaning, all you need to do is go right here, and people are going to be excited. But since you're the expert and the guru, you deep dive, and you go way past the point of fulfillment, and you stress the crap out of your audience. So if you can doodle it, it helps you go backwards so that you can still teach complex stuff, but in a way that's digestible quickly. So they're not like having to sit back and be like, I think I get it. If anyone says that, it's wrong. If anyone says, yeah, that was really good, it was wrong. If someone's like, whoa, that was right. If someone's like, oh my gosh, that's really cool, that was right. Okay, so that's the process. That's how I'm doing it, and that's why it works. It's not fast. So it freaks me out whenever I see people saying that. So anyway, hopefully that's exciting to you guys. I am just freaking psyched for OfferMind, by the way. There are a lot of big people coming. I had no idea. So we started looking at the list. And if you're brand new, awesome. I'm excited for you as well. I'm excited for you to be there. It's going to be fantastic. But it is how to actually craft an offer and how to actually put together something that the market's been asking you for, but still the ability to be prolific at the same time. And which funnel best manifests the offer that you've actually put together. It's really cool. It's really cool. Stuff that no one's ever taught. I'm really, really pumped about it, guys. It's this is my move into becoming a category king. Okay, that's what I'm trying to become. The offer creation category king. All right, guys, we'll see you guys later. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Hopefully you guys, I'm really psyched about it. So the next thing I'm doing right now, I'm gonna go in and find my doodler, send a whole bunch of images to them, figure out my intro and my outro for the actual whole event, and then we're ready to rock. The biggest question I struggled with for years, and easily the biggest question I'm asked by the thousands of people I've coached in this process is, Steven, what should I sell? And if you've been listening to my podcast, you have probably had that question, right? After thousands of coaching students and sheer obsession in the game, I started noticing that there was a strong but untaught pattern of how I was selling successfully and over again. It honestly took me about 17 business tries or failures, honestly, to figure this out, to get one right. Since then, though, they've pretty much all been winners. So what changed? I learned the pattern, okay? I learned the framework. Secretly, for the last 9 months, I've been working to document my process and refine it even further, and it's worked very well. My book will teach you how to design the core offer of your business and a winning sales message that sells it. Do you hear what I just said? That's a huge claim, and I totally get it, but this will help you actually figure out what you sell and how to sell it. But it's a process I've been using now for about 3 years for myself and my students. If you want to learn the framework, this pattern, the formula for yourself, go get my book at yourcoreoffer.com. It's free, just cover the shipping at yourcoreoffer.com.